Good morning. Good Friday morning. That means a lot to a lot of you. You all right that it's Friday? It's almost the weekend? I don't care. But I'm glad you do. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day. We had an exceptional Bible study last night. We finished out chapter 3 of First John. So catch that video. It should be in my timeline and my videos or on the YouTube channel. But catch that and get a study guide. We've still got chapters 4 and 5 to go. And at the rate that we crawl at a snail's pace, it'll still be about 3 or 4 weeks. So, but it's been. Oh wait, yeah, 4 and 5. Yeah, yeah. There is 4 and 5. There's 5 chapters. So but so still be a couple more weeks on that. And man, it's just been. It was really good. It's so good to just fellowship around the Word, and we bring so many. Bring different viewpoints, different opinions. God forbid we have different opinions, and we throw in questions, and maybe somebody has an answer. Maybe we look for it together. Maybe we don't even find an answer, and that's all great. That means we're learning and we're making it applicable. And that's the thing about reading the Word. We read the Word and let it change us. That's the whole thing. We don't just read it like a book and go, oh, that was a really good story. No, we live this one, right? We apply it to our life, just like peace. He gives us peace, and then what? We let it rain. We apply it. It's applicable. So I have a quick story, a quick devotion this morning because the nurse is on the way to change Chris's peg tube because it stopped last night. So, and they can't get out here at night anyway, so it complicated my night and it complicated my morning, but it'll be okay here in about an hour. So the nurse is on the way. Anyway, she better be. I'm just going to learn how to do it myself. I'm going to find somebody that'll train me to do it myself. Then I don't have to worry about it anymore. But anyway, then I can just change it, right? Oh, that makes me so nervous, though. Anyway, so this morning, actually, here's where my devotion came from this morning. I was out in my little flower bed. I got a little flower bed. Best $12 I spent in a long time. I think they're about $1 a piece. About 12. It cost about $12. I got a little row of flowers, right? And so I didn't even know how they would do because the dirt's not the best in the world. It's more clay, really. And man, they have just done so good. They've done through the heat. Now we'll see if they stand this next heat wave because we looks like we're in for hundreds for the next at least 7 days. So we're looking at breaking several records in the next week. Isn't that crazy? But we'll see when they make it through that. But they've just they and they're just so colorful, and I've just enjoyed them. And I'm like, man, why haven't I been doing this all along? 'Cause I'm already planning next year's garden. I'm already planning what flowers I want to do, and if I want to make it a little bigger space, and how I want to do my pots, and because I've got some potted things too, and I've just enjoyed them. And you know what? Solomon tells us, enjoy the work of your hands, right? That's the whole thing. That's a blessing of God to be able to enjoy the work of your hands. Just enjoy life, right? So I've just really enjoyed them. So this morning, I go out in the morning. I water them real good. I water them in the evening too. But I water them in the morning and I pull off the dead ones, right? The little dead, they shrivel up. I think they only bloom for a day or two. It takes like a day for them to open, maybe two. I don't know. But they're just so pretty in the morning. Some of them partially open, some all the way open. I just really enjoy them. But I pull away the dead ones and I throw them back over onto the ground behind them. And as I was pulling them off today, I was like, every time I pulled one of the dead ones off, there was a bloom right where that one had been, right, usually right under it or right beside it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. I've never noticed that before. So I pulled the next one. Oh, there is a bloom already there. Where I'm pulling this flower that's already bloomed and has done its duty and is gone. Right. I'm pulling off these dead flowers, and I was like, wow, what looks like a loss is actually hiding a gain. It's hiding another flower. It's hiding more beauty that's going to come out in the next couple of days. And I was like, wow, how many times do we take our losses and we focus? Now, if I took that dead flower, the little shriveled up little thing that I'm pulling away so that the beauty can come out, and I focus on that dead flower, oh, this is so sad. We just lost this flower. If I focus on that, I'll miss the beauty that's sitting right here. So this flower, even though it is perceived as a loss, makes way for more growth, for more flowers. And I got a Bible story to go with it. I got to have a verse to go with it. And because as I was pulling these away, I was like, man, what looks like a loss is just making way for more gain, making way for more beauty, making way for more growth. This flower's done, but there's three or four more coming up behind it, right? And I don't want to focus on this one that I'm pulling away that is shriveled and has done its duty of beauty, its beauty duty, where it's given me such beauty to enjoy with my eyes, right? Because there's more coming. So I don't want to focus on that loss. So I thought, well, how does that apply to our Christian life, right? And I thought of the three Hebrew children immediately because when they were thrown in the fire, it says that the fire was so hot it burned off their ropes, but it didn't touch them. So, and I've heard it said, so it's not an original thought, but the only thing they lost in the fire was what was holding them, what was binding them, the things that held them captive, the ropes. That's all they lost. And of course, then they got out of the fire. And I thought, so the only thing, we don't want to focus on the losses because the losses aren't always all bad. Are they sometimes painful? Yes. Are they sometimes devastating? Yes. Are they sometimes, it just depends on what we're talking about here, what kind of losses we're talking about. But our losses oftentimes mask our next blessing. So don't focus on the losses. Deal with it emotionally, be healthy, right? But instead of focusing on this loss, I can look back at those plants and go, look at all those new flowers I'm going to get over the next 2 or 3 days. So I just toss the loss aside. There's nothing I can do about it, right? Just toss the loss aside and enjoy what's about to come. And so, I just want to encourage you today that if you're struggling with something that you're perceiving as a loss, and maybe it's a big loss, maybe it's a little loss. These are flowers. They can mow them down. I'm going to be mad and beat somebody up, but it's not that big of a deal. I can go buy more flowers. It's a minor thing. But sometimes losses are a lot bigger than that. Maybe it's a loss of a job. Through the pandemic, I was talking to somebody the other day about this. I don't remember who now, but through the pandemic in the last couple of years, we've suffered a lot of losses. Maybe our lifestyle changed, maybe our job changed, maybe our family changed. I've lost three loved ones in the last it's almost 2 years, about 18 months, and so there's been losses, but those losses, rather than focus on the losses, I had to focus on what God's still doing, right? I have to change my focus to what's growing. Because even in the midst of losses, we don't ever lose his peace. We can't ever lose his love. We won't ever lose his grace and his mercy, his watch care over us, his presence. Now we can ignore them. I can pick up that dead flower and look at it and not pay any attention to my pretty little pink and purple and whatever color flowers they are, white with little pink, red, maroon, black centers. I cannot look at the growth. I can look at this loss until it consumes me. Or I can say, oh, that was such a pretty flower. Okay, what's next? Right? And so we want to go through our losses, handle them in a healthy way, handle our grief in a healthy way. Grief is not a sin, by the way. Handle those griefs in a healthy way and then start looking at what's coming next. You see, what is next? I don't know, but God's doing some great things, even in the middle of a financial crisis, even in the middle of wars, even in the middle of pandemics, even in the middle of losing loved ones, even in the middle of whatever's going on in your life, my life. God is still working. So our losses are losses, and we may feel them, but there's so much more to gain. Think about this. Think about the last 2 years. I've been doing this devotion for about 2.5 years. So think about over the last 2.5 years, what kinds of things has God done? What has he changed in your life since we could just look back at the pandemic? Because that's when I started this, was when I was like, okay, somebody's got to hear some peace here because we're hearing a lot of other stuff. We got to talk about some peace. We got to realize God's peace is still here. So in that 2.5 years, I have to say, I've actually started learning, and it's a process, how to let his peace reign. Even when stuff looks yucky, right? Even when life gets difficult, there's still a peace there we can tap into. I hope you've grown in the word, not from the videos, but on your own personal level. I hope you've grown in your love of Him. Isn't that the whole thing? That there's a couple of things that Paul says to grow in our knowledge of Christ. Uh, Peter says to grow in faith. We want to grow in and displaying the characteristics of God. We want to grow up in Him. We want to grow in our knowledge of Him and our trusting in Him. So I hope you can look back over the last 2 years, and I'm just doing that because that's when all this crazy stuff. Well, it really kind of started before that, but basically started about then, right? Somewhere in there, uh, and say, yeah, you know what? I do trust Him more. That's a win. Throw away the dead flower and focus on that, right? Yeah, I do think about his peace more often. Yeah, I do think about his scripture more often. Yeah, I do have verses come up in my head more often. Yeah, I do lean into him just a little bit more. I do trust his grace a little bit more. Throw away the loss and look at the good things in this circumstances that maybe we've gone through because we've gone through some rough stuff. Or I have. I don't know if y'all have or not. I gone through some rough stuff, right? I got my list. I know you got yours. But in the middle of it all, we can look at God and go, but He's still here. He didn't leave us. He didn't abandon. He didn't pack up and go, man, it is crazy down there. Let's just go home. Right? These people you made, Dad, are weird. No, he still loves us as fervently, as passionately as ever. My favorite scripture in the New Living Translation, Exodus 34:14. God is passionate about a relationship with his people. You is his people. That means he is passionate about a relationship with you. He wants to have a relationship with you. He wants you to accept his love. The love's there. He doesn't turn it off and on based on our behaviors. Thank God. Thank goodness, right? It's there. His grace is there. His mercy is there. So we don't want to focus on the horrible things. We want to acknowledge them. Oh, such a pretty little pink flower. Oh, such a pretty little white flower. Oh, look at there's more, right? Don't focus on what we're losing, although we process that in a emotionally healthy way. But we focus on what's coming, on what's there. I look at the flowers there this morning. I go, man, they're just blossoming. They're just beautiful. I pull those dead ones away, and then I can enjoy the beauty more, right? So I want to focus on His peace today. Focus on his love today. Focus on him today. That will carry us through, right? That will help us get to that peace we're looking for, that we need to let reign in our heart. He already gave it to us. We just got to pull away the dead flowers and find it, right? Have a great day, you guys. Peace out, and I will see you in the morning.